Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're going to be doing a trial of Haelia. So overall, we know this is the mother of Sion, and when it comes to this hero, it is another highborn Draconic hero. Now I know a lot of players, I'm a little bit upset that we're seeing another one as it sits right now, but it is very, very close. So we've seen this, and again, I'm pretty surprised that we are seeing another one at this point, just because it has been such a short amount of time since we did see essentially another Draconic hero, but also waiting for the Awakened heroes. Wanted to hop on, wanted to test her out, get your input on her. Now, overall, you can see we do have the free trial to use her for 3 days, and then we also do have the bonus in here with the Draconic gift. So as you can see, we do have 50 Draconic insignias in here that we can go ahead and claim. Now, for me personally, I'm going to use all of these to build land. When you start looking tier list wise, land is still the high priority, the highest priority that we have when it comes to the Draconic heroes, and when it comes to the highborn ones specifically. What's going on? Luis and Soul are here. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's go ahead and collect this up. So there is the 50 insignias. Now, of course, we know the Illuminated Pursuit as well. This is going to yield us a couple different insignias in here. We actually do get a couple out of the first mode, which is Beyond the Curtain. First glance, of course, we have our skills and abilities that are now available, that are now up. Seems like she's going to be pretty strong. Now, the question that I have with this one is when it comes to her specifically, she's a warrior. Warriors do get a bad rap. Warriors can be very hard within AFK Arena. I want to see exactly where she kind of comes in with the trials. So warriors are either kind of give or take. So when we start looking at the warrior classification, we have had some in here that are a very, very big miss, which is unfortunate, but I want to see what she's going to do. Now, coming in here, we always want to start off and see what she does by herself. Now, we know the big damage thing with her is the daggers. So the accumulation of the daggers, the utility of the daggers are going to make a big difference in here. What's going on, Jermaine? I've been following me for years. Thank you for following me. Yeah, guys, crazy enough, it's been almost 5 years. So let's go ahead and drop these heroes out of the formation. And I want to see even level. Now, she starts at 360, as you can see right there. She does have a lot of skills and abilities, has the ability to steal shields, quite a few things. So I just want to go ahead, see kind of a baseline of where we're seeing damage for her. So let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. And overall, you can see pretty easy to crowd control. So there, of course, is the dragon, which means being fully built, the dragon is going to stay on the battlefield. So as you can see, dragon is still there. Dragon is still doing damage. She has a really big shield up right there. But it seems like overall, utility-wise, she stays pretty stationary, which again is kind of interesting when it comes to the warrior and getting those daggers built out. So here, 45 million damage. So even thinking back when we did Skyland by himself, a little bit higher damage-wise than what we originally see in Skyland. I want to see, so what's the new hero do? So overall, it seems like the dragon is the big part. So right here, you can see there's the dragon speak damage. Now, there is a multitude of ways that this hero does dragon speak damage, 32 million right there, but she has the ability to shield herself. She has the ability to do a considerable amount of damage as kind of a highborn Draconic. Now, I don't like right off the bat, as you've seen right there, she's getting crowd controlled quite a bit. I know when she does the ultimate ability, the crowd control, so if she's crowd controlled, she will still ult, which is very unique to what she does, 47 million there. She will still ult if she is using, or if she gets enough energy to trigger. If she's crowd controlled, the ult will still go off. Then, of course, she is immune and she's invincible or untargetable. And of course, she can't be hit by crowd control when the ultimate ability goes off. So pretty interesting. Finally got Lucilla to 30 SI and ascended. Not 1 star. It is getting there. Very cool to get Lucilla built out. So this formation, 37 million. So very similar again to what we've seen. So running about 35 to 45 million. Again, it's kind of crazy to think how large her character is, and then her moving across the battlefield. It almost looks like it doesn't fit within here, but there we go. There's the dragon speak damage, and you can see just kind of taking out targets very, very fast. What's going on, Pug? Hope you are well. Yep, doing great. I knew I was going to go in here and try her out, test her out, see exactly what she was about. So I figured you guys could join me right there, 59 million damage. All right, so let's get into some of the different teams, but I want to kind of show you what she's doing. So right here, Dragon Speak damage, she gets the removes the buffs. That is the big thing. So when you think of this in its entirety, she has the ability to lock out heroes. She can seal heroes' abilities, which is kind of crazy. I don't know, I know excluding ults with Aziz, but I don't know any other hero that actually locks out abilities like she does right here, disabling the active skills they have used the most. So depending, again, PvP wise, this is going to be really big. Excludes ultimate abilities, which it should. So again, when you think of a hero having 4 different abilities, she can lock out one entire ability that is used the most completely. So she's going to have the ability to essentially shut down teams. Now, most of the other ones of this is just either reducing the duration of buffs that the enemies do have, which again, locking them out, then reducing the duration of those is going to make a big difference. In here, this of course is the enemy boss doing a lot more damage. So not only does she stop abilities from being triggered, she can also negate or really get rid of the buffs that are already out there. And she has a 60% more damage and health loss to enemies that are marked by punishment. This is going to, of course, go by bosses, which makes me think right off the bat, we are going to see her in all of the boss modes very, very early. Just a copy away from Mythic Lavatoon. Lavatoon's huge. Yes, Jermaine, honestly, this hero, very similar to Skyland. Not going to be building the hero, can't build the hero. But let's go ahead and level this up a little bit and see how she does. Now, I noticed earlier when we were kind of running her, crowd control, again, she seems to get quite a bit of crowd control, but also survivability. And there we go. So she does get run over in the first formation. Now I know we have a 50 level deficiency. It's 1 on 5. So a little bit of a difference there, but I want to see if we can get the ult, which we're not going to. This is where I was kind of talking earlier when we did the very super basic trial. It seemed like she doesn't have a lot of crowd control, or she doesn't have a lot of survivability at all, which is kind of sad. Now there, of course, is the Dragon Speak damage. Once she gets the shield up, so once she does the ability, you can see she steals the shield. She has a really, really strong shield in here, but without that shield, falls right over. I'm looking at this, 97 million damage. So again, survivability seems like it might be an issue in here. What's going on, Shaggy? Is the unit coming out on global? So this hero will be up on Tuesday. So we will see. Monday is going to be the patch notes like we traditionally see. Should be Monday. And then Tuesday will be the hero itself. So we'll have access to the new Draconic hero. Now, also, players were saying on Discord that we are seeing her already being used in formations, which again, looking at the ability, looking at the boss fights, doing 60% more damage, it seems like it is going to be very feasible for her to be one of the best in slot heroes just for the sheer damage amplification that she's going to be bringing. So let's go a couple more levels and then we'll add somebody else in there. So let me see. So let's just start. Let's go through a couple heroes in the factions. Now, thinking about survivability, even with the awakened version of Lucius, and of course, she doesn't have an SP effect. Let's see what this looks like. What's going on, Lucas? Salutes. What's going on? Mystical as well. Again, it seems like survivability wise is going to be an issue. If you can keep her alive, it seems like the damage is going to be pretty high. I want to see, even sitting here with Lucius, what it's going to look like for damage wise in a battle like this. So she is moving around the battlefield. That was something that we did notice. She is not stationary at all. She does move across the battlefield or around the battlefield, which is exactly what we're seeing right here. Now looking at the damage, 53, 56. So not too much. Now again, remember, she is not, and I really don't feel like she's poised as a major damage dealer. She can reduce the duration of buffs. She can also increase the damage that heroes are doing. She can also exclude or block out skills and abilities. And she can also kind of shield and protect herself, which I feel like even though she's the warrior classification, that we're going to see her used. Honestly, I would probably say seeing her used in a lot of formations, a lot more of a support hero, almost like a Warwick. And thinking of a warrior like Warwick, I think that's what it's going to be for that damage amplification that she's bringing. But there we go. Some insta kill right there, which is cool. So 55 million here and then 41. And she does have an insta kill. If you guys seen this hero, if you guys were, if you watched the video a little bit earlier, she does have an insta kill ability, which is kind of crazy. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So within the signature item, this one right down here, when all daggers have been generated, she enters Butchery. So again, very similar to what we see with Nara. The enemy hero that provides the most attribute buffs will be marked, prioritizing marked enemies with the highest health. When the ultimate is cast, the enemy will be instantly slain. So when they get to the point of using the ultimate ability, which of course she cannot lock out, they're instantly going to be slain unless their health is equal to more than 3,000% of her attack rating, which is kind of crazy. Then it will take Dragon Speak damage equal to 800% of the attack rating and will suffer 40% more health loss for the 9 seconds, including all of the health loss that they are already getting. Again, seems kind of crazy. I think bosses, and again, we'll run through this for a little bit, see exactly what we're getting out of this hero. Then we'll hop in and we'll see if the whales over on the test server have already built her, if we're starting to see her in a bunch of different places, and where we're kind of seeing her. So third, let's go ahead and drop our wilders in here. Let's see, and I want to see, I know like Aethys should be absolutely no problem, just because his crowd control is insane. When you look at a very, very traditional tank. Now, of course, this is also Nemitsu's totems in here, but there is the dragon, guys. Dragon Speak damage is no joke. It seems like it is just such a very, very strong way. Also has an energy regeneration. Pretty much everything that you want to see in a hero is here. So 132. Now, this kind of begs the question. So when we start adding other damage dealers into formations, where does it compare? So even right here, when we have Lucius, we know damage for Lucius, but let's see like a Belinda in here. And I'm just thinking about adding in, let's go a couple of our buffers, but I'm almost wondering, you know, where's it going to look at from the damage aspect when we start stacking kind of damage dealer to damage dealer. Now, of course, like I said, she's bringing a lot of buffs to the formation, which is where I feel like a lot of that utility is going to come from. Is not so much the damage she's doing, but the damage she is making everyone else really amplify and do is what I'm kind of thinking. Is the damage in here is just going to be that much further. Even there, 80 million, 27 million. Again, damage dealer to damage dealer. I know the awakened version of Belinda might not be the fairest trial, but let me see if I drop even the other ones out of here. So if we're just running these two, again, I think she's just going to die as soon as she comes out. Again, we have a little bit of the crowd control going on. Yeah, she's just going to die. So survivability, definitely going to be an issue. Thinking campaign formations, I'm thinking, you know, the places where we see a high level deficiency, she's going to get run over. I don't know what Alna's going to look like. What's going on, Nicola? So close finishing build. Gavis and Aurelia both are Mythic Plus. That is awesome. Yeah, again, 90, 23. Gonna have some survivability issues. That's what we're really seeing right off the bat, is definitely a couple survivability issues. Let's see what it looks like with Shamira. Now, of course, Shamira is going to keep these heroes alive a little bit longer. And even there, Shamira is just a monster. But there we go. So there is the ultimate ability. I like the dragon. I like the dragon. I like the build. Even Dragon Speak damage compared to what Shamira is doing, we're roughly 67, 67. So honestly, like I said, it doesn't seem like she's doing a absolute crazy amount of damage is kind of what we're seeing. And I know we're running her in test formations, very basic, fully built, everything of that nature. Let's put her with some more Draconic heroes. Let's see what Hilduin looks like in here. I'm just kind of curious because Hilduin, of course, providing those shields, going to keep her, maybe not even keep her alive at all. Hilduin, of course, there's his dragon. Again, Dragon Speak damage. So even thinking there, she's doing about half. I would say, looking at the numbers from kind of dragon to dragon, it seems like she was doing about half the damage, which I know she died very early. Let's swap her back here. See if Hilduin's defensive is going to make a big difference. Now, of course, she throws a dagger, then she walks forward, kind of does an attack right there on Belinda, and I think we just melted the whole team, even before the ultimate ability in here. Yeah, I mean, they went through pretty quick. Again, she has some very quick attacks, which there she died again. Survivability issues. Boss fights, I don't think it's going to be as prevalent. 121, almost 70 million. Yeah, an Awakened Diamond would be Yeah, an Awakened Diamond would be kind of crazy. Helia and Melion could work together. Yeah, we can try both of those. Again, we can try, if you got formations, guys, if you want to see them, we can definitely pop whatever we need to in here. So there is Helion. I don't think any of these, yeah, we don't have them on the test server. So we're pretty limited to the heroes that we don't have. But yeah, I mean, we could do some even, and I'm wondering if by chance any of the basic heroes would be used, like a Paulina or even like Cassius, maybe as a tank. Cassius and Paulina have never had anything. Gregor, I feel like, might be viable. But Melion, again, amplifying the Dragon Speak damage could make a big difference in here to taking down these formations a lot faster. 81 million right there. Let's go ahead and turn up the levels a little bit. An Awakened, not Diamond, Damon. There we go. An Awakened Damon would be very cool. And it would be cool too because they did Chimera to kind of go hand in hand with what we've already seen. I think it would be pretty cool to see the Awakened version of Damon. I think it's going to be Isabella. Now, again, kind of speculation there. I think it might be. Oh, and it didn't save the formation. I'm kind of thinking it might be an Isabella. It might be a Pharrell. Would be really cool. And of course, a lot of heroes that are coming to companions, a lot of heroes that are going to journey. There's a lot of different. So let's add the same in here. So let's add Cassius in here. Maybe it wasn't that formation. There was Chimera. I thought this was the formation with Cassius. Maybe it was formation 2. Yeah, it was formation 2. There we go. So let's just drop in again. Let's drop in Cassius in here. There we go. We'll drop in Melion and see exactly where this damage kind of comes in at. What's going on, Thomas? Thanks for joining us. Doing just a quick test, guys. If you got some formations, and again, she dies. If you got some formations, definitely let me know what you want to see. But again, it seems like survivability for this hero is going to be a little bit challenging, it seems. We've had a lot of formations that she has died, and she's died relatively quick. Seems like if you can keep her alive, that you're seeing a pretty decent amount of Dragon Speak damage out of her. And again, like we said earlier, the big thing is the buff. Helion and Demia would work together. Yeah, to keep her alive. That's true, Mystical. We can try that formation. 236. So there we go. I'm wondering almost, let's drop in Demia. Just for the fact I want to see kind of what this looks like. And where's our tank? Let's grab Iran in here. Again, running a couple of different Awakened heroes. We have Demia in here. I want to see kind of what it looks like damage-wise between all of these. I feel like levels aren't high enough for this. But we can kind of see what is going to come. What is it going to look like in here? And of course, this one's a little bit more difficult to kill because it is, I think, Cecilia. Yeah, got some crowd control. Ultimates are crazy. This gets super annoying, as if you have all of these ultimates, the battles are extended by a huge duration. So 98 there, 72. Even looking at her, 16 million in this one. So again, not seeing a huge part when it comes to the damage that she's putting out in general. Let's even go a couple more levels in here and see if that formation is still going to work. I don't think she died in this formation either. I think she was actually alive during this formation. Even there, she takes a lot of damage. So Iran gets the crowd control up relatively early. And again, she dies in the formation. Iran goes down right there. Demia still ulting. Yeah, so again, it seems like Shuna keep her alive with a strong tank. Yeah, we're going to have to drop something in here. Let's go ahead. Let's drop Shuna in here. Yeah, the damage mitigation is going to have to be there. Like I said, you're going to have to run her back row. Boss fights, I don't know what it's going to look like with the Enrage. But again, I could see the viability with the hero. And it's weird because when you start thinking of the heroes that we got, it seems like survivability has been an issue. Thinking of the Awakened version of Iran, thinking of Skylin, thinking now of Haelia, it seems like survivability has really been a big issue. And again, 92 million there, 255. it does seem like we've seen a lot of struggles with our heroes as of lately. You know what? Let's throw in and let's run. I'm thinking some Draconic heroes. Let's try all Draconic heroes in here just to see kind of where she comes. So we'll drop a Highborn in here. Let's do Lan. I feel like Lan is going to be a really big one in here. Yeah, let's throw all 5 in here. So we got the Draconic buff. We got the Draconic bonuses in here. Now, Nyla up front. Look at the damage, guys. Lan goes down early. And again, Dragon comes up. And I do like the gold dragon. It is definitely pretty cool looking. So 508. So worked pretty well. Again, survivability with Land going down earlier in the formation. My first Hippo lift. What's going on, XY? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, just hopping on. We're testing out the new hero, seeing exactly how she's working, essentially where she could be feasible, and even thinking like, let's do Liberta and let's do Lucilla in here. Just kind of thinking again, tank wise, she's not gonna make it. She is not gonna make it. Lava Tune in here. Let's go with Mortis. See if we can get some buffs out of here. Her and Gavis, yeah, that might be one that we can actually try. And there we go. So they go down really quick in there. And again, thinking of the 5 pull with Eron in this one, we know that was going to be a pretty quick. Let's see if we got Gavis in here. I'm going to be kind of curious where the whales are using the hero. So she gets pulled in. And again, there's the alt. Now, when it ults, remember, she is untargetable, she is immune, and she cannot be crowd controlled with that ultimate ability. And look at Gavis. Guys, 259, Gavis at 116. Gavis, an absolute just monster when it comes to survival. That is the reason why Gavis has as much utility as he does. Let's go to 610 and see if Gavis can be our savior within this formation. That was kind of crazy with the damage mitigation. I almost wonder if Leica would do it as well. Now, of course, there's the pull, got the ultimate ability off. And again, Dragon Speak damage does a lot of Dragon Speak damage. And of course, the Dragon stays once the ult is done to just do more continuous Dragon Speak damage. 512, look at that, 286. Guys, don't... Gavis does a decent amount of damage, as you can see. Let's go a little bit higher. And you can see we're going up 50 levels at a time in here, guys, to see exactly what this does look like. I'm one step away from stopping playing. I have a ton of resources to summon and catch Lucilla. But what these various dragons, I'm totally discouraged. I won't even start talking about the gallery. Honestly, Pablo, I hope there are... I hope there's changes. I hope there is some really big changes. And I kind of feel like you, when it comes to the changes, when it comes to everything in here, I feel like they have to make some changes and they have to make some bigger alterations to the Ghoulish Gallery. Still a big sticking point. The cost of the Draconic heroes, definitely a very, very big sticking point for a majority of players. Yeah, it's tough. And honestly, for a lot of the gameplay, for me, I just really take it with a grain of salt. What I mean by that is, you know, the game is always going to change. We're always going to see adjustments. We're going to see changes. We're going to see a lot of garbage that is kind of coming out that a lot of players don't agree with. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. You know what? Let me drop a tank in here. But honestly, I just kind of roll with it. I'm not going to get super worked up. I'm not going to get super disappointed with the game. They have a really big opportunity to fix and adjust a lot of stuff, which I would love to see them do. If they choose not to, there's going to be a point where players don't play. That's exactly what it's going to come down to, guys, is if they don't adjust things, if they're not changing things that players are upset about, like the Ghoulish Gallery, like the Draconic heroes, players are just going to stop playing. The player base is going to go down, and ultimately the game is just going to, you know, not succeed to a certain point. Working with Ivan, yeah, Ivan would be a pretty good one. Just like we've seen, let me see. I'm thinking, let's go with like the Belinda comp. I want to see what Ivan does in that Belinda comp. We can run her in some of the meta comps that we kind of see in different game modes. And of course, Gavis keeping everyone alive, guys. And Aethys. Aethys is another one that is super, super broken when it comes to the damage. 1.22 billion damage right there. But even look at Gavis. Now remember, again, like we were talking about, the new Draconic hero provides a really big damage amplification. So if we're looking at, 740 million from Gavis, that is monster because it does get that 60% amplification for the damage, which again is kind of strong overall in the build. What's going on, Miko? It seems pretty good. Absolutely, this Draconic hero going to have a lot of survivability issues. Gonna have to keep her alive through a couple different game modes, which of course historically, so there she goes, just literally dies right off of the bat as she comes out. Let me see. Let me drop an Ivan in here. And I think Ivan over here, the levels might have gotten to the point where it's a little bit too high. But let me drop. And then let's go for, and again, when it comes to tanks, we don't see a lot of very, very strong tanks out of here, which is kind of crazy. I love Sheltier, but it's taking forever to release, and I'm totally discouraged from getting her. Honestly, I'm kind of sad with, they're not using her as much as I thought. Pablo, as much as I like Sheltier, as much as I like the heroes in there, I thought there would be a lot more utility with the hero, honestly, but unfortunately not. And look at that. Is it licked? I think it's licked. A new subscriber, guys. Thank you for subbing to the channel. We're closing in on that 40,000 mark, which is kind of crazy. Now in here, of course, the awakened version of Thorin, but Thorin's pretty cool, guys. Honestly, as much as people hated how Thorin worked in the beginning, he's a pretty cool hero. He's pretty cool. We've started to see a lot more utility with him, and I think it's interesting to see. Let's drop out Belinda. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more survivability out of someone, out of these heroes. Yeah, guys, how many insignias to star dragons? I believe right now, and I seen a couple players that built the new dragon. If you checked out Reddit, they built about 500 to 600. So the problem is when you think of 500 to 600 and getting into those insignias, they are so just asinine expensive, and they are so incredibly, incredibly difficult to build. They're so incredibly difficult to acquire. So when you start looking at getting those insignias, it's almost impossible to have an income of Draconic insignias short of buying them. That's the problem that we see right now, Big C, is you have to buy them. And that is really the only way. Even here, it seems like she's a little bit overtuned. But like I said, when it comes to getting the Draconic heroes itself, it's kind of crazy the cost. So again, when we start thinking, we're getting about what, 50, 60, 70, 80, 82 out of here, out of the release of the hero, plus those discounted. So you get about 100. When you think about 100 costing about 500 to 600 to build, still seeing a very big deficit. Now, of course, within the Dream Store, we got 10 in here. We also get 10, or actually 30 that we get out of the Draconic Forge. Then we get 10 here. The Barracks, of course, doesn't offer anything. Same with the Labyrinth Store. Same with the Challenger Store. So again, thinking of, we get 20 out of here. We get 30 out of the shop itself when you look at the Dragon Isles. So we're up to 50 plus the release. We're at about 130 right there. Then, of course, you get one every week in the Dragon Isles. So, okay, then you add in the factors of random places here and there. So in the course of a regular month, you're seeing about, what, 50? Maybe 50? I'd say roughly about 50 Draconic insignias on a regular basis, which puts us, Big C, at the point of having the ability to possibly get one copy. One copy is it. Even when you come into the Dragon Isles and you look at the sheer cost that we have of these Draconic heroes, I mean, if you're looking again, so right here, $15 for 10 insignias, roughly taking about 50 to 60 to get a copy. So 50 to 60, you're talking right here, 50 insignias run $100 just for the price tag itself. 50 insignias are not going to guarantee you that you're getting one of your Draconic Highborn heroes, which means you figure, again, mathematically running the rough math here, If you're looking at 150 Draconic insignias, chances are you get 3 to 4 copies out of there. And of course, it takes an incredible amount of copies to build these heroes up. Even to 1 star is adding an additional 3 copies. So the cost, again, when you look at it, is kind of crazy. Let's see if she's being used. So that's what we always kind of tested on. Now, of course, we can see a completely different hero when it comes to the global release. But when we start looking at the hellscape and we start looking at the biggest heroes within AFK Arena, looking at Roxa, looking at Cirrus, is the hero already being used right there? Very first squad, you're already seeing the hero being used. We see Nyla in there, we see Milion in there, and of course you can see this is literally already being used right in formation. I think this might be, no, it's not the trial version. So this hero is already built up to 1 star. Looks like the engraving is maxed out. So day 1, same as what we seen with Scion, being used day 1 in that first formation. I'm wondering, there's the awakened version of Iran into 2. There is, of course, Liberta still being used utility-wise, kind of crazy. There is Skylin, and there is Zora, and there is Scion. So again, when you think of the Draconic heroes, when you think of being competitive within game modes, it's a lot of players that either have essentially Skylin built, because even Skylin, I think, was the best in slot in here. So either having the heroes built or not having the heroes built is kind of where we're stuck. Now, of course, there's the awakened version of Haelia in here. But again, thinking of Haelia already being used, Skylin being used, looking at Scion being used, it's a lot of Draconic heroes. They're an average. So there you go. So on average, maybe 600 average if you're lucky. I notice that every 6 to 7 attempt, you get a copy. Yeah, not 6 to 7, 60 to 70 is XY where we're kind of seeing it. I found Thorn to be missing, seeing as he's old game meta, but Lilith will do Lilith. Yeah, oh, a lot of it. The old school meta with Thorn. What's going on, JC? First shell tier doesn't need the plus 40 signature item. I don't have her at a plus 40 signature item. Depending how and what you're using her for, you could. And Benedict, is she good? It seems like, a lot of players are already using her. This is some of the older formations, which of course is still running Baden versus running the new hero. But you can see, 141 for essentially second place, 153 for first place. Even looking, what do we have here? So 9, we have what, 9, 10, let's say 16, 17, probably around 17 out of that formation. She's doing 18-3 by herself. So again, thinking of the damage that she's putting out, we're at 18.37 billion by herself, which of course, and then you throw in the extra 6 there. So 18, what's that? 24 in comparison to second place in the exact same formation. That is where you're seeing like that 10 billion difference between these, is the players that have the hero and the players that don't. That is a big thing. Now let's see Nightmare Corridor. Nightmare Corridor, I feel like she is gonna have to be used in because of the burst damage. So there, of course, is Randy. Then we have Vika. Then we have, still weird that we use Vika in the original version of Baden. There is Thane. There is Haelia, and the last one is using Scion. So she is not there for the damage amplification. Again, it might be a little bit too early, but you can see that the Draconic heroes are having a lot of utility in a bunch of different game mode. What's going on, Taunts? Hey man, I just recently gotten back into AFK Arena after 4 years. Videos are amazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, welcome back to AFK Arena. After 4 years, you might want to start a new account because all of the heroes that you probably had 4 years ago are not worth anything at all, which is kind of crazy. Thanks for answering my questions, Big Bro. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Big C, that is absolutely amazing. Being there and helping us every step of the way. Yeah, guys, I love covering AFK Arena. It's such, for me, it's such a cool game. It's awesome to share it with you guys, being able to go through, explain things, talk through it, and even testing out and seeing the new heroes. Like I said, I take it with a grain of salt. The new hero, not disappointed that I'm not building Skylin. Not disappointed at this point that I'm not going to build Haelia. Honestly, for a lot of players, there's 2 ways that you can kind of look at it. One, it's a hero you don't have. Unfortunately, we're not going to build. The flip side of it is, this is a hero I don't have to build. I don't have to put resources in. I don't have to worry about. I can use all the resources that we're getting with this hero. I can go ahead and I can pump them all into LAN, which means I can finish out LAN, and then I can take all of the insignias that I'm starting to collect, stockpile them for the next hero that comes out, because unfortunately, If you guys are familiar with AFK Arena, usually the damage dealing heroes do not stay around. That is the reason why when you look at a hero like Lan, utility for the hero is super high as a support hero. Support heroes are the ones that stand the test of time, where when you start looking at the damage dealers, when you look at the warriors, when you look at a lot of the rangers and the mages, most of them do not stand the test of time because they are very highly subject to power creep. So as we go in there, as we get stronger heroes, even as we get stronger heroes like Rendell for the Graveborns, slowly really replacing a lot of different heroes, even with the support hero. But we also seen the exact same thing when it came to Liberta and replacing heroes in their entirety, which is kind of crazy. Seeing heroes like this, again, as a support hero, best in slot damage, it's been happening a lot of times that we're seeing these support heroes that are doing incredibly well when it comes to damage, which is very cool to see. I really do hope my Demia stays a while. So the big thing also to think is when you start looking at, have a good night, Pablo, but when you start looking at heroes like Demia, so Demia is going to have a lot of utility and is going to have a lot of utility for an extended amount of time based on how she works. Now, you also have to remember that just because a hero is replaced in formations doesn't mean the hero doesn't have any utility or loses utility or goes down in utility. These are heroes that are going to stick around. And if you're not a player like on my YouTube account, where we have all of these heroes built, where we have most of them engraved, we have plus 30 and 40 signature items on them. If you don't have the ability to build out all of these heroes, Demia is still going to be the best in slot for a majority of your formations, short of having every single hero built. These heroes, again, they stick around, even thinking of, like old school, my favorite hero in AFK Arena, Rowan. Still, again, if you don't have all of the heroes built, Rowan has energy regeneration, has the energy pot, has a lot of crowd control, the damage mitigation. The hero fundamentally still works in a lot of formations. And again, if you don't have all of the heroes built, you can still use a lot of these heroes and you'll see a lot of utility in those heroes in general. Hi, Hippo. Am I too late? Nope. Do you think they'll give us resources for it? They do, Marwa. The thing is, they give Draconic insignias. You get 50 right here. You get the discounted summons. You also do go in here. You get another 12 out of this game mode. Or no, you get 10, 12 out of this game mode. So 22, 32 with the Shadow of the Dragon. So like I said, all in all, when you look at the discounted summons, you get about 100 from the hero, which is good. It might give you mostly 1 or 2 copies. Let's use them. You know what? Let's use them in here and see what my summons look like. I think Dracon is a way of more problematic than Ghoulish Gallery. Honestly, with Ghoulish Gallery, they're just dancing around the main fix. Yeah, Ghoulish Gallery definitely needs an update, definitely needs an adjustment. With the Dragon Temple, I honestly, my opinion as playing AFK Arena for 5 years, this is just ultra whale. It is super whale. There is no way, even if you're putting, $50, $100, $200 into AFK Arena every single month, looking at the sheer cost where they place Draconic insignias, you're not going to be able to build these heroes. Even if you're putting a couple $100 in here, there's no way you're going to be able to build these heroes at all. The feasibility is not there. You're not getting insignias on a steady income, and you're also not getting insignias fast enough to build them. Because if you're missing them, you're not going to get the insignias in the game modes. And of course, that is kind of problematic. Let's see if we can get a copy of this hero, and watch my luck will probably be crazy because we're here streaming. The 1, 2, now these of course are the discounted summons, and there's our first copy, guys, and boom, there is the unlock for the new hero. Again, this is a hero absolutely at a lower level. I think could work possibly, thinking about this hero, fundamentally working on bosses. And again, I'm going to have to check out the hero in just a minute. Let's do the rest of these summons and see if we can pull another copy, because normally, and you've seen we had 50 something, I think 51 or 52 in here, but normally within the 50, you're going to get 1 copy. There's a second, which gives us copy number 2. Now, of course, we spent all 50. We just did our discounted summons in here, which means we don't have anything left. Even if we thought of every other game mode we went in here, we'd be getting about another 50 insignias in here, which means probability might get another copy if you're lucky with the summons. But overall, that is going to give us 3 summons. Now we got to wait 30 days before we get the ability to summon any more. That's it. So we would literally have to wait another 30 days to build this hero up any further. Let me drop her in the Resonating Crystal. And I'm almost wondering if it would kind of make sense. I haven't really played the test server in a long time. There's Skylin. Now, where is she at? There she is. So let's drop her in here. And I'm almost wondering if feasibility, I know damage-wise, there's no incredible way. But thinking of the 1 copy that we pulled in here, or the 2 copies we pulled, having the ability to do, yeah, it's got to be engraved. That's what I was literally just thinking. It's not even going to make a difference unless she's engraved, which is kind of crazy. How many levels can I get? I don't know, Miko. Again, this is an account that I don't play. I come on here to really showcase everything. You can see Hilduin's not even built, but we have a lot of food. We do summons every now and then. We play around with it every now and then. But I don't know, because we have 753,000 on the crystal level. But 510's our cap. That's what we kept running into, Miko, is the cap that we had in here, because we're not going through. And I don't even know how many other resources are here. So crystal, again, we got to get more heroes. We got to level up or send more heroes to actually max it out. In here, again, the bags just kind of collect as they sit in here and collect. I don't even know. I mean, we have old school hero choice scrolls. We have a ton of stuff in here. Even here, sitting on a copy of Leonardo. To unlock Leonardo, that's literally just chilling in the bag. I don't even know when that's from. Eugene, we got a couple copies, but yeah, like I said, this, and there was Zolrath. We've seen a copy of Zolrath right there. Like I said, in here, we really don't play the test server at all. And most of the players that played the test server are pretty much gone at this point as well. So we're not seeing a lot within there. I finished Gwyneth finally and moving on to Skylin. Yeah, Skylin is gonna have to be very expensive. How do you even get more SI40 emblems? So the way that you get them in there, Big C, is the bounty board. This is the place right here. When you're looking at getting these insignias, as you can see, or these the epic emblem choice chests, they drop very rarely. There's been a couple places. I believe there was a Voyage of Wonder that had them in there. I think maybe in the current Voyage might have them in there. But to get them at really any level, any bulk, you get 2 a day. In here, I thought for some reason they were. Maybe not. It's red chest in here. But overall, that is the only place that you can get them. You do get 2 of these every single day, these epic choice chests. A Big C, that's it. That's the place. I don't even know if at a point they come out of AFK rewards. I know we can get these, but I don't know if we can get those choice chests. I don't think we get the chest itself. If you've seen the chest, guys, definitely let me know. Draconic's harder than More Than Awaken. Absolutely, love you. Absolutely, they are way more difficult than that. Does the immunity, does it? Oh, does immunity. Yeah, definitely. Her immunity is going to be there for a while. Draconics feel worse than Celestial Hippos. They are. It's the cost. They're way more expensive, JC, than even when it comes to, like we said, the Awakened Heroes. The Awakened Heroes, at least, you have the feasibility to get them because you can use diamonds. You can use diamonds to get time emblems. If they give us 1 Draconic insignia every day, that would be a literal game changer to AFK Arena, to the ability to get Draconic heroes. If I was getting 30 of these a month, if there was a way to get 30 of these a month, including everywhere else, the Dream Store, the Guild Store, everywhere else we're pulling them, if I could get 100 plus of these a month, feasibility to build a hero would be much higher. But unfortunately, there is no feasibility to getting these on a regular basis. You're kind of stuck. It's beyond non-free to play. Yes, completely. JC, if you're free to play, good luck. Even for me, like I said, we haven't built Skylin. We haven't built Lan out in the entirety. I still need more copies to get Lan to Awaken. When we built Gwen, we did put quite a bit in there to build Gwen, getting the insignias. But then looking again at the new hero, there's no way. There is no way that you're going to build the hero if you're free to play. It's going to be next to impossible. Even looking here, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 7 days right here with Feisler. Everybody's offline for 7+ days. That's why I said for a majority of players, The test server is not a place where a lot of players play at all. For some players, though, the test server is the only server that they have. This is their global server. But again, not many people that are going in there. Yeah, I wish they made them, again, a lot easier to build and a lot more. It's, oh, hurts to see the bag is awful. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, SI40 is overpriced, but you do have the ability to use red emblems. That's the big thing. When you look at the price of those plus 40 signature items, there's even a Draconic hero literally just sitting here, as well as some more of our legendary bizarre totems. But when you start looking, at least you have the ability to use red chests, where again, when you start thinking about the Draconic heroes, there's no ability. We literally don't have anything in there. Is it worth for the new account to hunt for Draconic heroes? No. No. The problem with Draconic heroes is you're going to notice really fast when we go in and let me hop over here to the Dragon Isle. So if you're looking at the heroes itself, so looking at the wish list that we have essentially looking at the heroes themselves, we are seeing Scions being used, Nyla's being used in some formations, and that's really it. So the problem is right here, and again, this is another big problem we see with the Draconic heroes, is if you look right here, you have Kregor, you have Melion, which Melion is used every now and then, but you also do have Cassius and you have Polina, meaning you're going to be summoning in here for these heroes. You're going to summon for Kregor, you're going to summon for Cassius, Polina, and essentially Melion probably as well. And all of those heroes that you're going in here, there's no way to guarantee with a 5-hero wish list that you're going to get the ones that you want. So even going in here, and I know a lot of players are super upset with Scion. We have seen players get Scion up to Ascended 1-star. So getting it to the point of being able to engrave Scion, which has costed 900 plus Draconic insignia, or excuse me, 900 plus scrolls or diamonds. There are a couple large players, whales, that did summons and spent 500,000 diamonds to get Scion to 1-star, again, to be competitive in a lot of other game modes. 500,000 diamonds, and I believe even looking at subject, summoned 480, I think it was 480,000 diamonds, not including the scrolls that were used, because there's no way to do desired hero summons, there's no way to build the heroes, and even then they used that many resources to get the hero up to the point. Getting the 4 free copies in here to get again to the Ascended 1-star was almost 500,000 diamonds, which is crazy. It is kind of crazy. Yeah, Draconic heroes, if you're newer to AFK Arena, there's no reason to chase these. These are a lot more endgame, a lot more pay to win, a lot more expensive. Now, of course, you could build up some resources. You could kind of summon them slowly if you wanted to use the resources that you gain. Wouldn't put diamonds in there, Draconic scrolls, and that's kind of a question that I've gotten before. When it comes to Draconic scrolls, honestly, since this is the only thing they're going to be used for, as long as these are coming to you essentially free, you could do a couple summons in here. Again, I wouldn't chase Draconic heroes. I would not put my diamond resources in here. Even when you think of what you can summon in here with the wish list itself versus utilizing your diamonds. And of course, these summons are 5,000 diamonds a summon, but going in and using the Stargazer, I would much rather have a lot of Celestials and Hypos than the Draconic heroes. And again, when you start looking at the chance of getting the one Draconic hero that everyone's looking for, Scion, at 5,000 or 5,000 diamonds a summon, it's not worth it at all. It is so expensive. I want to see, they really need to do like a focus summon, a Draconic specific summon, kind of like the desired hero summons. They have to do something. It's kind of crazy how expensive they are. Spent 270k diamonds, 220 scrolls to get them to 1-star. There we go, guys. So when you think about that, 270,000 diamonds plus 220 scrolls just to get one hero to 1-star. And again, thinking number-wise, Gaza, that was a pretty good pull. That was pretty good. If you've seen a lot of the stuff that they posted over on Reddit and Discord, it's been crazy where they've almost done 1,000 summons to get them built with some bad RNG. I wish for the Draconic they would have to cost building the Celestials and the Hypos. Yeah, even if they bump this down, I mean, a little bit, they need to do something. And again, because there is such a big RNG factor within there itself, it's not worth it. It's not treat spectator skill adjustment, 600 baits, and a free copy of Secret Spice. So there we go. So maintenance complete. And then I think, yeah, this was the skill adjustment down here for the treat spectator. This, of course, is something that they changed. But overall, even the patch notes, guys, we have a couple of little events that are coming, nothing too major. And I'm almost wondering what is coming right here. Firefly Glow, and I believe these are the Valentine's Day events that are going to be coming down the pipeline. Quickly, the hunting fields are there, the Shadow of the Dragon, so the voyage is up. Everything else is just on repeat. Even all the dimensional heroes in there, you can see. But overall, everything that we're kind of getting now, which is disappointing, is a lot more of the repeat we're not seeing. Awaken will spend around 400 to 500, but Draconic heroes, yeah, are way more than that. And honestly, love you, the reason for that, when you start looking at the Awakened heroes, these heroes have actually gotten a lot cheaper because of the probability adjustment to that 2.5. This made a big difference with the probability adjustment, and there's your 30,000 diamonds and Gavis in there. But this did make a really, really big adjustment in here. Players are roughly running around 400, maybe a little over 400 time emblems to get these heroes now with the adjustment. And of course, this needs an adjustment 1000% applied to the Draconic heroes in their entirety. We need them to up the rates and then give us the ability to get those emblems a lot easier. It would make a very, very big difference. Yeah, 500,000 diamonds. It's insane. Can't even save that much. 5,000 diamonds immediately. And the thing is, XY, is if you're saving your resources, so on here we have 50K. If you're saving your resources, generally you're hurting your account. This is why I say when you build out and when you think of AFK Arena, you really need to be building it in 3 different phases. That is the way to look at it. When you start looking at, you have your Light Bearers, your Maulers, your Wilders, and your Graveborns. These are the primary 4 factions. You're going to have 1 hero and 1 hero alone that you're building at a time within these 4 factions. Then you have your Celestials and Hypos. These are heroes, again, that you're going to be building 1 at a time. Based kind of on the tier list, you're going to be building them 1 at a time. And then the third one is the Awakened hero. So whatever hero you choose to build in the Awakened variation, that is going to be the third hero that essentially you're building. Now, the reason between this is they all use different summoning metrics. That is the big thing. When you're using all of your common scrolls, your faction scrolls, this is going to focus on building out all of these 4 common heroes. When you start looking at diamonds, diamonds are going to be utilized for your Celestials and your Hypos. And then, of course, with the Awakened heroes are going to use your time emblems. And then, of course, you could do the exact same in here using your Draconic scrolls for the regular ones and then the insignias for the Highborn Draconics. And again, that really breaks it down how to summon. And then depending on where you get the hero built to, the utility of the hero, building the hero out from there, adding in signature items, adding in furniture, adding in other things, just kind of layer on top of what you have there. Systematically, building a hero 1 at a time is the only way to do it. If you start splitting it, which a lot of heroes do, or a lot of players do, they start splitting heroes and start splitting resources between a bunch of different heroes. You're going to find out that you have a ton of half-built heroes, and it really doesn't work well at all because, again, you're going to have a bunch of very, very distraught and very, a lot of heroes you can't use because they are half-built. Sorry, guys. Wanted to hop on here. Like I said, wanted to really showcase it. Awesome to see the new subscribers and the super chat in there. Thank you, Big C, for definitely donating that. That's awesome. Gap between free to play and pay to win is so far. It's always been, if you are pay to win, if you're putting a lot into AFK Arena, it has always been very far. The gap, of course, is always there. Borrow heroes. I borrow Skyland because I don't have him built. New hero, I'm going to do the exact same. I'm going to have to borrow the hero to use in different game modes. And again, utility-wise, we're going to have to see exactly where the hero is being used. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for the last-minute stream. Wanted to definitely hop on here, check out the hero itself. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the new hero. Seems like some survivability issues, but we're going to have to see exactly when she comes up Tuesday on Global, where she's being used. Guys, so have a good night. Thank you guys for joining me. Always awesome to talk to you guys. And as always, thank you guys for watching.